it is the quintessential best person or business or consumer to be in front of. And Be Local recognizes that, produces a perfect, beautifully bound product. And that is why it's a game changer. If you look at other stuff that's blog writing, we don't do blog writing. We crowdsource, we ask people. So I can open up a book and it'll be blog writing. I can open up another book and it will be like yellow pages. That's not what we're about. We're about curated local insight that's hand delivered or through mail to residents that as they move and are deciding which businesses to support. Can't think of a better place to be quite honest.
Welcome to Be Locally Loved, where we spotlight the people, places, and ideas that help communities thrive. Moving to a new town can feel overwhelming. You don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to trust. That's where BeLocal comes in. Like a best friend, BeLocal personally welcomes newcomers and connects them to the best local businesses, restaurants, community events, so they can feel at home faster. And for local business owners, BeLocal is like a matchmaker, introducing them to new families who are ready to form long-lasting and local relationships. To grow your business by reaching newcomers, visit reachnewcomers.com. Okay, today I'd like to welcome Shirly Ellison to the podcast. Shirley is an area director for BeLocal in the Boston region. She has been publishing 2 BeLocal guides, one for Metro West and one for Minuteman, both of which she successfully ramped up remotely during COVID. We all remember that. With more than 8 years at N2, Shirley has built a thriving business and earned the prestigious Big Dog Award for BeLocal. And when I say prestigious, it's the biggest award that you can win from the N2 company. In addition to leading her own publications, Shirley coaches other area directors across the U.S. who are launching new guides and looking to strengthen and grow their existing businesses. She brings both strategic insight and real-world experience to those she mentors. Before joining N2, Shirley built a successful career as a tax attorney and later as a business consultant, working with many of the same types of businesses that now partner with BeLocal. On the personal side, Shirley is a proud mom of 3 incredible kids, ages 17 to 22, who keep her humble and on her toes. She also shares her life with her beloved dog, Gracie, who has enriched her life beyond comparison. Born in Israel, Shirley moved to the United States at the age of 6 without speaking a word of English, an early chapter that reflects the resilience and determination that continue to define her today. Welcome, Shirley.
Thank you so much, Laura. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you today. Boy, let's lean into the coming to the United States at the age of 6 without a word of English. What
I
was that
know.
like?
It was crazy. It was good. I mean, when you're 6, you're so pliable. You just be able to, adjust to whatever surroundings. It definitely took a little bit of time. I remember my mom saying that at 6 months after here, I was speaking in my sleep and I started to speak in English. So then she knew we were all set. And it was amazing. I mean, we lived in an Italian neighborhood. I mean, really Italian. The streets are all painted in red, white, and green out of Cranston, Rhode Island. And I just got a culture shock in the best way. It was just wonderful to get to know people and learn new cultures, and it was great. It was awesome.
What do you think that early childhood experience shaped you into the woman you are today?
Well, my parents came here just to study for 2 years. My dad was studying, and then we were going to go back. And when he ended up getting a job here, my parents had to pivot. My sister and I did not speak the language. My parents knew English from school and knew English, but not awesome as they are today. And it just made us really. You have to kind of like dig your heels and move forward. You have to make the best of whatever situation you're given. And I think that's what my parents raised us. We weren't given anything. We were not financially sound. I actually was given, I remember, green plastic coins on a daily basis for lunch because we were below poverty levels. My mom always said 2 things you can't lose is this green plastic coin, and I was a latchkey kid, so
Oh.
he around my neck. He's like food and shelter. So that kind of made us realize. I mean, my mom was super resilient. I remember we didn't have carpets on our we rented an apartment and we didn't have carpets. So she went to a carpet store and they have those square samples and they had all the remnants thrown out for the last season. So she went and took them all out from the back of the building and sewed them all together and did this patch quilt rug for us that we thought was the best thing since sliced bread because it was colorful and like all rainbow and
Right,
you know
right,
and those are the kind of
right,
things that you don't even think about as a negative. You just spin it as a positive. We got a new rug, yay!
right, right.
So that's kind of what they did, and then they both became super successful. They both, went to school, and my mom got her master's and was running hospitals and things like that. So that was kind of what we emulated. We just knew that if you put your hard work into it, you can certainly succeed at anything you want.
What a great lesson for us as business owners, right? You learned early on about the power of resilience.
For sure.
And that's probably one of the things that's helped you win the Big Dog Award. Tell us about the Big Dog Award. What does that mean?
So the Big Dog Award is an award that's given usually by to one person. Last year they or a few years ago when I got it, I think there was several of us for different product lines. It is an award that encompasses from what I understand. So, giving to the standing out in the company either financially or commitment wise, giving something, or a combination of the two, financial excellence, meaning like that you've exceeded goals or whatnot, but also what you bring to the table, how you are a not a we, not me person. So, and Be Local has something that was really a passion for me, and I really indulged in a lot of different things in helping the company expand on that product because it is or was one of our younger products at the time. And so it's recognized. I think we have over almost 600 area directors across the country. I want to say 540 or something, and there's about 30 of us or 35 of us that have been recognized over the years for the Big Dog Award. So it was really a shock to me. I'm humbly blessed for it, but I don't know if I deserve it. I just think that it was something that, it sits there and looks at me. I think
I
and it's big and it's but it was really quite a shock to me. It took all of me not to break down when they gave it to me.
Well, I can tell you as someone who's watched you in the Be Local brand for years that it was not a shock to me because I know how much you've contributed to shaping the Be Local brand. And my understanding of the Big Dog Award is that it acknowledges the person that made the greatest impact on the brand that year, and that was you. To me, it's kind of like the Time magazine person of the year, it's
Oh,
just it is just acknowledging your impact, which is what I want to dive into today. What originally drew you to the Be Local brand? So you were working in taxes and business consulting. Like, how did you pivot?
so I've always wanted to have my own business. I was doing consulting for small businesses. Prior to law school, I had a lot of HR and sales experience. Law school gave me law and tax. So I had a lot of hats that I could wear. And when I started having children, I wanted to do something part time. So I actually, believe it or not, I posted myself on Craigslist if anybody remembers what that is. And I
Yeah.
put exactly what I wanted for what I offered, my skill set, what I wanted for pay, the hours. I did not need full time, and I threw it out into the universe to see what happened. And I got a bunch of companies that wanted that. They wanted a second set of eyes. They wanted legal, tax, char, kind of everything. And so I started doing it, and it was very fruitful for those businesses. The problem was, is I wanted to have my own business because I was getting paid hourly, and I didn't see there was no upside to it. So we had a publication, a stroll publication, which wasn't called Stroll at the time, in my neighborhood, and the area director put out an email saying that they had opportunities. It was forwarded to me and I looked into it and I was like a little skeptical, sounded a little good to be too good to be true, but ended up doing a stroll product. And then someone said to me, because I'm really about efficiency and time management, and I'm not what I call a fluffy person. I'm more business oriented, and they suggested to look into Be Local. And when I looked at Be Local, it was hands down great. So I only wanted one publication, by the way, and I ended up with three. Then there was Stroll became Stroll, so they were making some changes. I was one of the 10 that was actually a black and white publication. So it was a good time to sort of step away from that, just focus on the Be Local, ramped up a second one, and start coaching. So that kind of took that wheel of the stroll in there.
I also walked away from a stroll and leaned into the BeLocal brand because I love it so much. What do you love about the BeLocal brand?
Oh my gosh, how many hours do we have? I love BeLocal because I think it provides a tool that many of us I move frequently, so it provide a tool that to people that move to the area to get sort of entrenched in their communities. So when you move, you're just beside yourself. You're unpacking, you don't know where from left to right, you don't even know where the light switches are in the house
Yep, yep.
or trying to get while you're still working, if you have children or pets or whatever the case may be, you're just trying to get yourself acclimated. And Be Local provides that from a local perspective. I loved the fact that it was allowing me to help business owners, which is really my sweet spot as small business owners, to get in front of these people as they decide what they want, who they want to use, and what businesses they want to support. It made such synergy. It helped the community. It helped people that are moving to the community, and it helped businesses that were already established in the community. So it's truly a win-win. And I just thought it was just great. I liked the fact that it was regional, it was a larger area, and made sense for me.
Yeah, I always say it's the rising tide that lifts all boats, right?
That's right.
We're helping the new mover. If people don't know what new mover means, that might be like insider language for us at Be Local. It's like a newcomer, it's a new neighbor, it's a new homeowner, it's someone who's just moved in to the area. So when you hear us say new mover, that's what that means. But it's the newcomer, it's also the local business, but it also helps like the city. We're proactively welcoming new homeowners. That helps the city shape its culture to be a welcoming place to live. And it also helps the charities because, we are often talking about the ways to give back in our community and the charities that are serving our community and the events that are happening in our community. How do you see Be Local's role in the community and contributing to your communities to help your communities thrive?
So I think again, it's a great product to support businesses. I mean, our country is based on small businesses, not large, and that's what runs our economy. That's runs what everything kind of the mojo behind it. So it's really important to be able to support the community through business, not only to provide services for homeowners, but I think that the new movers are like you said they're philanthropists, they're looking for jobs, they are supporting the community, they're supporting other businesses. There's such synergy that's tied into all that that it's super important to be able to provide a product that sort of ties it all together, that allows people to know what the best places are, what the locals are, what local businesses are, because those local businesses are residents that actually live there. So again, it's all like one big circle that's feeding itself. And when people move in, again, it's overwhelming. And to have somebody, hey, here's a tool that helps you sort of get acclimated and helps you from a local perspective. So it's not like pay to play. It's really like here is what people tell us they love. This is what go experience it, go have fun, fall in love with this region like we do, and support local in whatever
That's right.
capacity.
That's right. And local businesses, they want and need new customers to be able to grow and thrive. And I've always believed that it is that new mover that's coming in from out of town or out of state. They're the most likely to do business with someone that's beloved in the community because they've broken that relationship with their doctor and their dentist and their hairdresser and their nail tech and their, all of those services. And they're coming into the new hometown and they need all of that. So it's a really unique opportunity for a local business owner to be able to advertise in a very niche, targeted, hyper local way to an audience that's actually kind of ready to do business, right? So that's really exciting. Can you share a story that captures the real impact that your publication has had?
Sure. Oh, I mean, God, there's so many things that are out there. I mean, I remember getting a message from a resident of how much they were from far away. They were from California, so East Coast, West Coast. We're not as friendly on the East
Right.
Coast. Takes a little bit of time to warm up. So they were adjusting to the speed. Number one, we talk fast, we move fast, where everything's fast on the East Coast, especially in, I don't know, Boston area for sure. And so when you're coming from California, it's a little laid back, slower, more friendly. It's a culture shock. So to get something like this to help them sort of pivot and be able to, on social media, we post local things that are happening so they could go and actually experience local things that were happening and be able to engage and connect and find their people and find what to do was really great. And she actually ended up working for a business that was in the community and loved it so much that she connected the business with us, to be able to potentially partner with us, to advertise, which was really sweet of her and very kind. And she truly advocates for what we do. But that's one of many that we just help the businesses. Now she found a job. The business got a new employee. She's now more settled into the Northeast kind of mentality. So it's really full circle, 100% win.
Yeah, I've often said that Be Local is like a domino that sparks a positive chain reaction. And that's what you just described. Like the connection that we make between a new homeowner and a local business can ripple for weeks, months, and years and touch so many people that we can't even get our arms around it, really.
Exactly. I love that. I love that analogy. It's definitely a domino effect.
Yes, people often say, like, "What is it like to partner with Be Local?" And I say, "Well, it's like farming. You're planting seeds every 30 days with a new group of people that's just moved into town, and they don't know where to go, and they don't know who to trust, and we help you be that great first impression so that they see you as a trusted local resource and not a solicitor." But it's hard for us to know past that planting of the seeds, like how it ripples, because we just can't possibly have fingers and awareness of like what happens when Be Local lays on a coffee table for years and is, looked at again and again and again and maybe passed along to a friend or, another neighbor, right? Like the impact is just bigger than we can even get our brain around.
Exactly. Yeah, I always say we cast a very wide net.
A very wide net. Can you speak to social media? Because a lot of people think that Be Local is just a magazine that goes one time. And I think that's the biggest myth or fallacy about our brand is we have a shelf life that no one else has. Like we do not get thrown away. I always say we're often like a yearbook. It's just once you get your hand on it, you're going to look at it and you're not going to let it go. But help our listeners understand like what else is part of the Be Local program and how does social media play into what we do?
Yeah. So our program is three prong. It's actually print, digital, and social media. So we hit them when they move with the hard copy that they get. And actually, I have a client that she was she was very stoic when I met her, and I was telling her about the whole program. She says, "Oh, I already know. I have a Be Local. I've had it for 2.5 years."
Oh,
Well, you
I
just
love
blew
that.
my numbers right out of the water because I usually
Uh,
say they hold on to it for 6 to 12 months. So that was kind of fun. So that's the print aspect. It's a beautiful coffee table book. As you know, it's gorgeous. It's a coffee table book. Who gets rid of that? It's something to look at, and of course, if people see it. I actually had a woman call me and say, "Could you send me 2 copies? I want to gift it to my neighbors because they keep going after my copies." And they're not
oh,
new movers. I said, "Sure, of
uh-huh.
course, I'll send it to you." So
Love that.
she was delighted with that. The digital is obviously we place we have an algorithm that places the Be Local algorithm that picks up people that are about to move 90 days before they move up to 1 year post move. So it's a very long expanse of people, and we place display ads of Be Local on websites that they frequent so they can get access to it digitally. Digitally means that not only are they getting it, they get to the landing page, but they can access a digital guide that they can have on their phone and use it interactively whenever they want. So we do have the print and we have the digital. So those are really great. Social media, to me, I always say the print is evergreen. So where you go hiking and biking, those kind of things don't really change. Businesses ebb and flow, restaurants maybe, pulled in, pulled out. But for the most part, it's evergreen. And because it's always going to a brand new viewer, it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter. The social media is kind of the here and now. Social media is where we want to help people get entrenched into their communities. That's where we post local things that are happening. Goat yoga, fairs, live bands, things like that. We will post on there to help people get assimilated and really start participating in the community, make their connections, find their people. And that's kind of like one of my favorite aspects of it as well, is being able to do that twice a week with my program. Is we give shout outs to our existing partners to keep them top of mind. And because we use Meta, both Instagram and Facebook have the links on top to the landing pages. So it's open source to not only new movers, but non-new movers. So we do have spillage to non-new movers, but clearly target audience is new movers. So I love our social media. I love what we post on there. I love the engagement that we get, and the people really appreciate the exposure, not only for just local businesses, because we showcase businesses that are favorites, whether they work with us or not, and local events.
What you've just described to me is what we say about the power of print and the reach of digital, right? The power of the printed magazine, this beautiful evergreen coffee table book resource guide that doesn't get thrown away, full of content that people need. Honestly, they need it. That's why what we do matters. And that's why we have over 100 B locals across the US. But then to partner it with the digital platform and using the website and mobile display ads and social media to keep it here and now and fresh and help people connect. That's why I think BeLocal is such a powerful brand.
Agree, 100%.
Yeah. So, what does it take for a business to become truly woven into the fabric of a community? Let's say that this happens here. I'm in the Austin metro. We have a business that's down in Austin. They're beloved. They've been there for decades. And now they want to come up to Georgetown because they see Georgetown as the new place to be in the Austin metro. And they have to start almost from scratch because we're a new community and we're a new audience for them and we don't really know them and we don't know their history and their heart. What advice would you have for a business owner that's coming into your community and wanting to be known, liked, and trusted by the community?
Well, on the business aspect, the basics, you need to know your product and you need to know your competition and you need to know your pricing. So your reputation. So reputation is something you have to build. If you're new, yes, you can. It depends on the distance between the two. If it's too far away, you have to start with your reputation. It's one of those things. If you lose it, it's very, very hard. It doesn't matter what ad you place in whatever format you want to do it. If you have a lousy reputation, it's really hard to recover. So that I think is by far the most important thing for any business. You have to have a reputation, a good reputation. And if you have something that makes you separate yourself from others, because there's a lot of businesses that have great reputation, that's your kind of your stepping stone. So whether your service is unique or outside the box or something that you do an extra, those are the key points to making your business successful. The other thing is your rates. So your rates, you can be the best, but if your rates are not in par with again doing your homework and finding out what people are charging. I mean, people are savvy. People work hard for their money. They're not just going to give it away. If you are at par with reputation, then that's you need to sort of keep in line with the rates and then response. So response is a huge thing that those are my 3 R's that I tell businesses. The response is very, very important. If someone calls you and you set up your business that you don't want to have a answering service or even worse, your goes to your phone and your voicemail is full and they can't even access you, people have attention span of a gnat. They will move to the next person within a snap. And that is how you have to run your business to get a response. You have to respond right away. So either set yourself up if you can't do it yourself, have a service that will get the response for you and be able to manage it, or you need to figure it out that you have to have a high response rate. Clear your voice. It drives me to drink, honestly, when I call clients and it takes me a voicemail and it's full. Well, you're definitely not getting any work today. So
Well, yeah, and how many times have we heard a business owner say, "Well, I don't really know if I'm getting anything out of my partnership with BeLocal." First of all, we're a brand awareness tool, so it's gonna be really hard to track. But second of all, if someone does feel inspired to call you and you don't answer the phone and you have a full
easy.
voicemail, like you've just shot yourself in the foot. So
Exactly.
tell me the 3 R's again.
Your reputation, your rates, and your response.
Okay, let's lean into reputation. How does someone build a reputation?
Well, one step at a time. So obviously you have to um, um, be able to provide excellent service and timely service. Do what you say, versus not do what you're going to say, or say what you do, and vice versa. You need to again, it all ties into your response rate. If you're providing a service like a I don't know plumber, make sure that you're doing the work in a timely manner. You respond in a timely manner. You show up. You leave it clean, and then you can do engagement. The other thing is, I think when you rapport building is huge. So rapport building with your clientele is really, really important. No matter who you're sending out, even if it's one of you guys, you need to train people to build rapport. People want to work with people they like. So if you like someone and they show up, I remember when I moved, a couple years ago, I had a electrician come in. The electrician, he's just honestly, if he wasn't I date him because he's just so fabulous. Not really, but he's just so fabulous. Christian is my heaven sent. He came in and my house was owned by somebody who was very techie, so I was very in the not know of what was going on. So he taught me about Nest, and he taught me about Ring, and he taught me about all these things that I had no clue. My stove has its own digital component to it, so it tells you it connects to your phone. My stovetop, I'm like, I have no clue any of this stuff. And
Wow.
he took time and explained everything to me way beyond, he charged me for the service as needed, and I certainly used him a million more times, and I've given his name out because he's just so knowledgeable. But that's the kind of thing that when you take, and he really went above and beyond. I'm not suggesting people need to go that insane, but to be able to cultivate that relationship, and I will use no one but him. I will use no one but him. Fair priced, great reputation. His rates are reasonable, and he went above and beyond. Okay, that above and beyond is what a new business needs to do when they move in. They need to do above and
Mhm.
beyond, whether
Mhm.
with the consumer or if you're trying to get your name out there, get involved in the community. So
Mhm.
one of the things is that you can, for every $100 we spend, we give or 10% of our money we give to local. So we want to contact the high school and find out what they need, and we raise the money and provide that. Food shelters, food pantries, things that are important to the community that are also, important to you, whatever that may be. Get entrenched in it. Put that in your ad. Get connected with people. Chamber of Commerce's, a lot of so you're in a city, I'm in a bunch of towns, so known as Metro West. We have business associations. Each town or many of the towns have business associations. Get entrenched in them. They're trying to get their town recognized. So if you do business in that town or you live in that town, be part of that community. Help the towns, help those businesses be recognized, and that will just, snowball or domino effect and be able to come back to you, and then you get recognition. What you give tenfold will come back. So, and find what you're passionate about, whether it's homeless dogs, homeless people, whatever it could be anything that's philanthropy that pulls at the strings of your heart that you can tie your business to. Make a difference. Making a difference, good rapport,
Mhm.
and then get your name out there. We'll all help together to actually create an existence.
I love that so much. And what you've just described is what I call serve before you sell. So when a local business asks me that same question, they're brand new, they want to get their name out there. They really don't have a lot of resources to advertise, or they have to be kind of grassroots and bootstrap it. I say serve. Find a charity that I had a landscaper say this to me. I said, find a charity that you can go do some landscaping for to show people what you can do, and then gift that. And then that charity will take a picture and share in their social media, which shows you as a generous man. That brand that clicks the word of mouth thing. So I love that you have that same point of view, like serve before you're asking for a transaction. You're trying to build a relationship, and I think that also reinforces who we are at BeLocal. We are not a coupon, Groupon, direct response. Here's 50% off your first month. Like, we are a relationship builder. We are a first impression. We are meant for you to be seen as a local business that people can trust, right? So your electrician that you described, I bet you tell everybody that wants to know about that.
Sure.
So, um,
And
new
I will add
movers.
one more thing, Laura, is I think
Yeah,
that the missing part of that is I think that people who are giving back to the community need to add that to their website. Okay. So if you want to stand out against, plumber A, plumber B, plumber C, you need to, on your website, you have your about, you have your services, and you should have something to say our beliefs or what we really do for our community or who we are or what's important to us. Like, create another line. And I rarely see that out there, like, because they're templates, but have
right.
that as another drop down of what you're doing for the community or what you're passionate about. It doesn't even need to be like just necessarily in the community. People may connect with you because you want to help someone in Zimbabwe, or you whatever your passion is, put it on there. Make yourself That's what's going to make you stand out. That's what people are going to connect with, because it humanizes you. It shows that you care more about that, more about other things besides your business, which you obviously should care about, but it does give a little bit of a round edge where people can connect with and want to use you versus the next plumber.
That's right. People wanna do business with people they know, like, and trust, and if you put your values and your beliefs, your mission, your vision out there, and people resonate with that, that will help you be trusted. I often say we're kind of in a trust recession. There's so much out there right now online that makes us skeptical, that makes us question, especially now with AI, we have to worry about, is this even a real person talking? So the more that we as local business owners can put out trust signals to let people know we are real, we are here, we are serving, we do love our community, the more people will feel like, okay, this is an authentic, generous brand, and I want to serve and support authentic, generous brands, right? When you zoom out, what do you see as essential ingredients to a thriving community? What does a community to become a place that people want to live and work?
Whew. So when I saw that question, I kind of was thinking about one specific community. So it really needs to support. You have to support. Like, you have to support each other as neighbors. Unfortunately, you're from the South, so maybe it's very different here. In the North, when I moved here 2 years ago, people don't knock on doors with pies anymore. They just don't, which I think is sad. I think there needs to be some connectivity of going back to supporting each other. Okay. I have lovely elderly neighbors, and they had some water issue things and whatnot. They came over to me and they said, "Listen, we're not going to be here for a bit. Can you?" Of course, I'll wash your house. I watched their house. We had a huge snowstorm. I plowed their driveway because I knew people coming to do some repairs. Like, we need to go back to connectivity in
Hmm.
with helping each other. That in itself is an essence of a community. Okay. It's not just because you have small children and they're in school, and so you know everyone from the school system. There's a lot of people who live in a community not that don't have that connection to the schools, which is usually what gives you that community feel. We need to be neighborly. I guess that's the big thing. Now, neighborly not only for your neighbors, but neighborly through business. So we have a community here in one of the publications I have, that the businesses connect with each other and feed business to each other. So it's Main Street. They have, like, you go into the Med Spa has coupons for the flower store. The flower store has brochures for the frame shop. They are all entrenched in helping each other get business. And when they talk to the consumer that comes in, the consumer says, "I'm looking for this. I don't have it." Go down the street to go see Joe. Okay. So there's that neighborly impact, not only to realistically your neighbor that you live in, but neighborly for businesses. And when businesses and that community is thriving, that community got it. They got the purpose. Now, do they support the the garden club? Yes, because the garden club goes and makes these beautiful flower pots that is all around downtown. So part of the money that they raise goes to the flower. So again, it's all at which those ladies don't have children. Most of them are elderly ladies. They don't have children in the school systems, but they're supported. And those businesses get support from those ladies shopping, and vice versa. And the town is beautiful with all these flowers, but all the businesses help each other and all the neighbors work together. And that to me is the essence. It's very, very simple. It's the be neighborly in business, be neighborly as a neighbor, and it will come back, and they'll support, and it works. It's just, I think in today's society, we're so fast and running and in me world that we kind of need to step back, breathe, smell the roses, cut the roses, and bring them to your neighbor. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
Oh, I love that so much. Human connection is one thing that AI cannot replace.
No, no, there's actually an amazing, I don't know if you've seen this ad. There's an amazing ad out there for one of those, those things that they bring food. It's a little it's a little, they have 'em on colleges. It's like on wheels, and it's probably like 2 feet by 2 feet with an antenna, and it rolls on around and it delivers food to different people.
I've
Okay.
seen that, yes.
Or whatever. You lock in whatever you want, it goes. So this machine is at a light. It's at a light waiting to walk, to cross the road, but you gotta hit the button. because it's just sitting there. And the guy walks by it and he looks at it and he walks by, he comes back and he hits the button so that it will turn green so it can go. So it knows that it can go. And the tagline is even with technology, we need humans.
Hmm.
And I just loved it because there's just feelings, emotions, things like that, thought process, just our process of thought in general. Some things you cannot replace with electronics. And that is what I'm talking about, the neighborly aspect.
I love that, I love that. You know, it makes me remember when I was ramping up my BeLocal, Georgetown at the time was the fastest growing city of its size in the nation, and so many people were moving here, and the locals were not excited about it, honestly. They wanted to stay the sweet little town that they were, and they knew that that was changing. And I said, "Well, I know we can't stop the growth, but this is, you know, creating BeLocal for Georgetown is my contribution to helping us manage the growth well. And I promise to pass on the history, heart, and culture of this city to the new mover through this guide. So at least we can show them who we are and invite them to be a part of who we are and not let them struggle out there on the fringe trying to change who we are." And I think that goes back to what you were saying about human connection. Even when we can't shake a hand or make eye contact or have a one on one conversation with another human, BeLocal helps to be that surrogate connecting people with humans in the town through the collective word of mouth from what we love about our city. We package that up in BeLocal. We get it into the intimacy of the home, and hopefully people feel connected. I think the word connection is the word of the day. What advice would you give to leaders or entrepreneurs who want to make a meaningful difference where they live?
Entrepreneurs or what? What was the
Leaders, community
leaders?
leaders.
I mean, again, I guess it just goes back to become part of the fabric of your community. Get to know people, get to know people's needs, see what you can do to help through your business, through your services, through your personal passions, I mean, people want to talk. People need people. Being alone is not super fun. It's great to have alone time, but we're not wired that way. So I
Mhm.
think getting entrenched into a community by participating, find things that you love, and then people will want to know what you do and what you do. And once they start to ask, it's not the first thing you start talking about, but when they start to ask, the questions come. And guess what? So will the business. So
Mhm.
again, if you go back to the R's, if you have good reputation and good response and good rates, people will use you because you built that rapport. So that's the other R.
Mhm.
So
Well,
once you
go ahead, finish your thought.
no, I was just gonna say that's where you need to do to be able to be successful in leadership. If you're working for somebody and you want to, climb the ladder, or if you want to have your own business, in any aspect, human in the business world or in your personal life, those are the things that you kind of have to engage in.
We'll be sure to put your 3 R's into the show notes for this episode because I think those are great. I can see the business consultant in you coming out. And I love your advice about getting involved. I know people that are listening to us can't see what's behind me, but if you're watching us on video, you can see that I have a sign that says, "Be local. If you love Georgetown, it will love you back." And that was actually authored by my director of community relations, Ann Kaiser. And she essentially said, if you want to thrive in Georgetown, get involved, become a part of what we're doing, show what you're passionate about, and start serving, right? It kind of get connected. Like it just all comes back to that word connection. I think that's the word of our day. Shirley, how can people follow your BeLocals in Metro West and Minuteman? Can you share your social handles and how people connect with you?
Yeah, so if you just go on Instagram, be local Metro West. Metro West is one word, METROWST, or be local Minuteman. Again, one word, MINUTEMAN. You can certainly find us on social media. You can reach out to me directly if you want. It's Shirley.Ellison. Shirley doesn't have an E in it because my parents spelled it phonetically, what they heard, not what, there's a lot of silent letters in English for no reason. So they spelled SHIRLY period ELLISON at N2, the letter N, the number two, CO.com. And I would love to talk to whoever wants to talk about anything.
I love that. And I also am going to have you send me a photo of you with your big dog award and we'll share that out because I don't think people understand this is a big dog. Like this is a big dog that you're about to hold. We'll put a picture out on our
Oh, you're
social
so
media.
sweet.
Are there any last thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience before we wrap?
I will tell you that BeLocal is a game changer. I think that I moved here 2 years ago. I moved 3 miles down the road, and when we say that new movers get 72 new business relationships, 100% I've lived it. I am relocating again. I'm actually moving down south to where your neck of the woods, well, south.
No, I
I
did not know that. Where are you moving?
I'm moving to Nashville.
What? With that Boston accent, you're gonna go
I
to
know, I
Nashville?
know. My friends keep telling me that they have to contact the mayor to let them know so they're prepared. They don't know what's gonna hit them. But I am. I'm going to, Nashville. I'm moving down this summer. I still have my publications. I'm still flying up here. I do everything remotely anyway, so it's not, for the most part, but I'll come see my business partners and whatnot every few weeks, so it's not gonna be an issue, and since I coach people across the country, again, not an issue. But yeah, heading down south. I think I need some
Wow.
sunny days and sweet people.
Wow. Yeah, oh, I'm so excited to hear that. I'm in Texas, so I know that Austin and Nashville, they say are very similar. But I
Okay.
really wanna lean into what you said about BeLocal being a game changer. For people that are listening right now that don't really fully understand the power or the impact of BeLocal, what does being a game changer, what does that mean?
I don't think there's a lot of products out there like BeLocal, to be honest with you. I've done a significant homework into what marketing options businesses have. So when you are in BeLocal, your clientele is at the top of their buying cycle. Okay. We are with TV, radio, print, all that. Those areas are the areas where businesses get to be known. Now, you have to get to be known by people that need your service. Now, I already have an electrician, so I'm kind of like not your target audience, but people that move, want to put an imprint on their house, need dentists, need daycare, need a million different things. It is the number one greatest audience to get in front of because they're at the top of their buying cycle. And when you put print, digital, and social media together in front of them continuously for extended time, and your brand is out there and you're marketing to them continuously through all different avenues because we don't know what people prefer. We kind of do everything together. We also know that print and digital together have 82% higher retention rate of a brand versus doing one or the other. When you do that, that creates when you're a new business, especially, you will get seen by the right people through the right medium continuously and you're marketing yourself through an ad that's really great in content that's highly desired. All you're waiting for is for the moment. Now if you have a pool company and they don't want a pool, then not everybody's going to want a pool, but everyone needs a haircut, everyone needs a dentist, everyone needs a lawn cut, everyone needs, and those services and businesses, furniture stores, restaurants, all those type of things, everything, it is the quintessential best person or business or consumer to be in front of. And BeLocal recognizes that, produces a perfect, beautifully bound product. And that is why it's a game changer. If you look at other stuff, there's blog writing. We don't do blog writing. We crowdsource. We ask people. So I can open up a book and it'll be blog writing. I can open up another book and it will be like yellow pages. That's not what we're about. We're about curated local insight that's hand delivered or through mail to residents that as they move and are deciding which businesses to support. Can't think of a better place to be quite
Mm,
honest.
that was perfectly said. Thank you so much, Shirley, for joining us today in the podcast. I know that this is going to be really meaningful for a lot of people. Thank you,
Thank you
and
so
we'll
much for
see.
having me. I
Of
love it.
course. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Be Locally Loved. We hope this episode sparked ideas, encouragement, and a deeper desire to get involved in your community.